it's Tracy from Two Rocks Tarot, and today I'm going to talk about the more brutal chemo that I have just gone through my first dose, and I've got another 3 to go, unfortunately. So I had it on the 20th of April, and I took a shitload of crystals with me, so I took extra crystals with me, and I managed to actually get a needle in the back of my hand, which I'm very, very grateful for, because I really didn't want to have a PICC line, because for those of you who don't know, I did have a PICC line. It had an infection in it, and when I actually had my mastectomy, I ended up getting septic poisoning and very nearly died. So very, very lucky, and I did not want to get another PICC line just for another 4 rounds of chemo. So the first 2 days after the chemo, I felt terrific. In fact, that's when I filmed all my weekly readings. I filmed quite a few weeks ahead because I wasn't sure how long this good feeling would last. And then the third day, my back, my God. I remember the very first chemo I had really bad back pain, and I kept on. We've actually got a back little portable back massager in the shed, you know, for my husband, because he's got, what are they called, compressed discs from playing rugby for 25 plus years. And so I use that a lot on the first round. But this back pain from this chemo, my God, it was excruciating. I've got a really high tolerance when it comes to pain. And this was unlike anything I've ever felt before. I had all these strong painkillers that they gave me for the first lot of chemo that I didn't need. I took 8 Panadeine Forte, which is the maximum amount that you can take on one day. It didn't do nothing, it just made me sleepy. So I ended up taking one of my husband's anti-inflammatories for his back that he takes, and that worked a little bit. But that back pain, I ended up sleeping just in a recliner in the lounge room because I just could not lie down. You know, it's better to sort of sit yourself up. How I'm sleeping now, I've got an A-frame pillow and another pillow, and I sleep on my back because I still can't quite sleep on my side. I sleep on my right side because I've got to it sort of kind of puts pressure on your chest area. It doesn't matter where I put my arm, it seems to still irritate me. So I've been sleeping on my back. So that was the first thing. Excruciating pain like I've never felt before. And then a couple of days after that, I got ulcers in my mouth. So you know how when you get pimples on your tongue? So I had huge ones either side of my tongue. A really, really sore throat, like you wouldn't believe. Like, it actually felt like when I had tonsillitis when I was younger. Felt like that. And it was that painful I couldn't even lick my lips. That I couldn't even get my tongue out to lick my lips. I couldn't eat for 2 days. I couldn't talk. It was really, really painful. And I thought, and I didn't realise this because they give you a list because it's a new type. As I said, my oncologist warned me. He said it's a much more brutal type of chemo, and he's not kidding. And it's an actual word for it, but I can't pronounce it. The type of ulcers, and you get a white coating on your tongue as well. But that was so painful, and it's really important to be able to eat and stay hydrated, and even drinking water was impossible. It was just awful. So I had my old, my nana used to make this for me when I was a kid. She used to make me honey and milk, so I drank that, and that helped a bit with my throat. Then, not only do you get ulcers in your mouth, and I'm just going to put it out there because I didn't find anybody, when it comes to all the cancer resources and everything that you get, right, videos or whatever that you watch, I've never really seen anybody that tells it like it is. And that's why I've made my few videos that I have on my cancer journey, because I want to be upfront. I want to know the nitty gritty. I don't want to be mollycoddled and have things hidden from me. So not only do you get ulcers in your mouth, but you get ulcers down below in the ladies' nether regions. I've got one beauty down there. And at first I thought it was my antibiotics because I don't take painkillers, and I actually my mouth was so sore, I went to the local doctor. He didn't have a bloody clue. So he just gave me, because, I constantly, since when you have cancer, they always tell you with your teeth, instead of using Listerine because alcohol burns your mouth, to use salt water. So I started that straight away, and it's been fantastic. So I've been constantly gargling in salt water, rinsing my mouth every time. It didn't do a bloody thing, and I said to Aaron, look, I can't eat, I need to go to the doctor. So we went to the doctor. He didn't have a clue what was about it. He gave me like a throat spray that makes you sort of diuretic when you put it in, helped a bit, and teething gel for the ulcers on my tongue, and that was it. And there's a local nurse who works there, and because it was busy that day, we didn't actually get to talk. And so she actually rang me up to ask me how I was going, and I said, look, it's not working. So she actually gave me a mouthwash that is, I should have brought it, but I can't remember what it's called. Actually, I might go and grab it just in case anyone out there is going through the same thing. Okay, so it's called Sepicaine, and that's what it looks like for those of us in Australia. So I don't know if you are in another country and watching this, if you can get that. But it's actually, this has got alcohol in it, but it actually numbs the tongue and the back of your throat. So you gargle it and I can swirl it around my tongue. And my God, as soon as I used that, it was like instant relief. And I said to Aaron, I said, well, why didn't the doctor put me on this straight away? You know, I even rang the dentist. That's how desperate I was, because I said to her, you know, and she didn't know what to do. She said there's a good one called Lidocaine, okay? Get this, it costs over $100 a bottle. So there's no way I can afford that. That little bottle there was $22. So so that's what I used, and that would eat. And then last night, so today, which is, well, today's the 1st of May, so last night on the 30th was the first time I've been able to eat properly. Even a boiled egg, I couldn't even get a boiled egg down in my mouth. That was just so painful. And that's why I said about where else you can get ulcers down below, because I didn't know that. And there's nothing even in the cancer leaflets that they give you of the symptoms. Nothing is said about getting ulcers down there. It mentions it in your mouth, and that's it. And that you should go to your local doctor. And so what do? You go to your local doctor, and they haven't got a bloody clue what's going on. Seriously. I mean, it was a nurse who told me about this mouthwash, only because she knew, because her father, I think, went through the same thing, and that's what he used, and said it was really, really good, and I can vouch for that. It's really, really good. So that was another thing that happened, and I just, you know, and I'm sorry if it embarrasses people, but I think you need to know it. There was nothing written in the leaflets whatsoever. It was only that I found a cancer forum when people actually wrote in and asked about it, and other ladies said yes, you know, that does happen. One lady even went to her gynecologist, of all things, a gynecologist, and told her that it was a sexually transmitted disease. And she said, I know, as if you haven't been enough. And she'd been married for 14 years, and she was really, really upset. And she said, I know that's not true from my husband. So she went and saw her oncologist, and he told her straight away what it was. So, you know, you would think that a gynecologist would know about problems that can happen with, you know, with your genitalia, wouldn't you? Really, honestly. So that was another nice thing to have as well. And then I woke up, my wrist was sore, like here. You know when sometimes you sleep funny, like if I thought maybe I slept with my hand all twisted up, but I don't know if you can see it. Can you see that red mark? Well, that's all blisters. So that's another thing that can happen. And it actually looked like a lamprey mouth when I first saw it. I thought, oh my God, what's that? So it was a blister in the middle and a whole little blisters on the outside. That's another thing that you get. So that's sort of associated with what's going on in my mouth as well. So woke up with blisters. I've noticed my skin is getting a little bit dry. You'll notice that I'm not wearing a scarf. My hair is growing back. But apparently with this type of chemo, it can make your hair thin and get brittle, but it doesn't say that it actually causes the baldness that the first lot did. It's been growing like quite prolifically. I have noticed there is a bit of a kink in it, so it actually might get curly. But I've also noticed it hasn't gotten really any greyer than what it was. I've always had all the grey around the sides and the back of my head. Still got the dark roots, as you can see. But I was in my bathroom, and we've got a skylight in our bathroom because we haven't got a window. And I was having a look at my hair, and I noticed it had a distinct red tinge in it. That my father has got a chestnut reddish type of hair, as does my brother. It's become interesting if I go that colour after being blonde. So, you know, I keep saying to Aaron, I'm going to keep my hair this short and dye it orange and be like Annie Lennox, because I think it rocks. But, so, yes, I don't know. I don't think it's going to fall out because I haven't got that painful feeling. I can rub my head. It was getting a little bit painful. And then I noticed I was using my Head and Shoulders. I was using my husband's shampoo because all my other shampoos that I've got were for, you know, for coloured hair because I always, you know, coloured my hair. So I went to baby shampoo. It's an actual baby shampoo that you can use as a face wash as well. So I've used that because your skin gets really, really dry. And I don't know if it shows up, but my hands are like, you know, they look like 80-year-old woman hands at the moment. They're very, very dry. So I probably will have to start doing moisturising at night now, using a night cream, because that's what happened the last time I was on the chemo. The tiredness, I'm still tired, and yesterday I had, well, the day before when I went to bed, I ended up having like a 12-hour sleep. I went to bed at Thursday at 8 o'clock, and I didn't get out of bed the next day till 8:30. So I just couldn't. I just didn't have the energy to actually just get up. I just laid in bed and I thought, I must have needed sleep. Today I feel a bit better, that's why I'm doing this video. But I wanted to be honest about what it's like to go, because that's how, it's more brutal, this chemo, but they don't tell you anything. There's nothing about the ulcers except what goes on in your mouth. There's nothing about that it can appear anywhere else, and it gives you a fright, because then you think, shit. Yeah, because the first thing you think of is anything else happens around your body when you've got cancer is that the cancer might have spread or it's gone somewhere else. And it was only when you start reading other forums and some doctors who are really quite good, because I had very severe rib cage pain on my mastectomy site, like, oh Christ, it was really, really painful. And one doctor wrote that you don't get counselled enough on the aches and pains that are normal when you're going through cancer treatment. And then, of course, the thing that the first person who has got cancer thinks, if there's another ache and pain, that it's spread, And I know mine hasn't spread, because mine was localised in the breast. Sure, it went up into my lymph nodes, which I actually had 19 taken out and 10 had cancer in it. So I'm glad I had my surgery early. And it hadn't gone anywhere else in my body, because, you have all these CT scans. And I know that, but still, you get paranoid when these odd things happen. So I wanted to be really brutally honest about what it's like, It's, you can probably see I probably do look like shit today. I've got really bad rings. I have to take my glasses off, as you can see, under my eyes. Rings under my eyes is quite normal for me anyway, but even for me, this is quite dark. And I thought I'm not putting any... I actually wear concealer as a normal thing under my eyes, because that's just how I am. I was just born with dark rings under my eyes, as both my daughters are quite gleefully tell me off because they inherited it as well. But it's just something, I don't know where that comes from. So I just thought I'd show you what it's like when you feel like shit. Because, I know some people, you see some cancer video that look beautiful and glamorous and they look awesome, and it's not true. You can just feel like crap when just going to the toilet can be a bit of a nightmare because you're sore. And of course, I suppose going through menopause and all this other, I already was going through menopause for, a couple of years before or something like that, I think. So, things, your body changes. It does. It really, really does. So today I've got my old bra. I don't know how this is going to... so this is my fake boob that I've got in here. But, gee, it's hard to match up with your normal breast, because, of course, being older, my remaining breasts are sagged a little bit. So they're not the same. So trying to get them level is another nightmare. Trying to get clothes... I can wear things like this quite comfortably, but I think all my V-neck dresses and stuff are going to have to go. I don't know. I'm not too sure when I should get fitted for a proper mastectomy bra, because, well, one thing, they're expensive, and I think you need at least to have my scar flat, because I'll turn to the side. Can you see that there? Well, that's still swelling. All that under there is an actual swelling. Although my husband likes to tease me, that's back fat. But, so that's still, swollen, and it needs to go down more. That's what I'm thinking. So it's been March the 10th I've had it. So it's been a month, just over a month since I've had the mastectomy, and they say 6 months to 12 months. So I might even have to wait that long to get a proper bra, and then I'll see if I can get one that's got like a camisole type of thing, because when you've got only one boob and you bend down, well, you can see straight down, just straight down to what you had for breakfast practically. So you have to be very mindful of what you wear, which is another thing. What else has happened? I've kind of had a runny nose, but my nose is sore, so to blow your nose, you have to be very careful you don't make it bleed as well. The nurse did tell me off about biting my nails, because your nails can go yellow, black, crack, and peel off and come off completely. One lady that I read said that all of her toenails fell off. That's another thing that can happen. So I've actually brought some of this. I promised her, the nurse, I'd use it. Stop and grow. Stop biting my nails, because you have to be careful of infection too. I'm really, really careful. Of course, you know, being with COVID and all that. So while I'm going through my chemo, I get all my shopping delivered. I don't go out. If I do go out, I'll wear a mask anyway, regardless. We just had a lockdown in Perth for 3 days, and it's mandatory again to wear masks when you go out and about. But I do it anyway, because you've got no immune system whatsoever. So, you know, a common cold can kill me, so I have to be really, really careful. So I've got a little bit of a sore nose as well. It's tender if you blow your nose. But I think the mouth was the worst. Not being able to eat, drink, swallow, even lick your lips. That's how bad it was. It was awful. So my next lot of chemo is on I think it's on the 14th of May. I don't know now. I can't remember. I haven't got the card in front of me. Or maybe even the 9th. Because this lot you have every 3 weeks. Thank God you have it, you know, instead of 2 weekly. But I'm seeing my oncologist, so I will have to, and obviously that's why he wants to see you, to see how you go, because they can adjust your medication, make it a little bit lower, or even give you another week. Because if your pellets are too low, if you haven't got enough iron or anything like that in you, sometimes you need a blood transfusion, or they let you go for another week until you get built back up. So I'm feeling a lot better today. Today's the best that I've felt since I've had it. But the thing is, when you have sores where you don't expect to have sores, and you've got a male oncologist, it's not something that you want to discuss with him. And thank goodness that the oncology nurses that I see, when you first go in to get your chemo, you have to leave your partner behind, and they'll bring him in when you're all hooked up to everything. Not that I care if Aaron was there, but I'll be able to at least talk to a female and ask, you know, what happened. Because I did ask the nurse, and she had no idea. Because I honestly thought it might have been the antibiotics, because it kind of started up when I was in hospital as well, because I had so many antibiotics put through me because of the septic poisoning. And I'm not one that takes antibiotics at all. I don't take Panadol. The only time I ever used to take it was when I used to get a migraine, because I do suffer from migraines, but I take really strong painkillers for that. So the actual local doctor did give me a stronger painkiller called Tramadol. I think that's how you pronounce it. See how that goes. It's a 1-a-day one. I'll see how that goes, but I'm still going to talk to my oncologist about pain relief, because I'm not going to go through that again with my back. And it didn't just go, at least with the first lot of chemo, I had that back pain. 2 days later, it was gone. But with this, it was not only my lower back, it was my neck as well. My ears were aching, and all down here was aching. My teeth were aching. I never had problems with my teeth. My teeth were aching. But with chemo, you can lose all your teeth. The lady that I stayed with in the hospital room, she lost all her teeth fairly quickly, but she had to start. She was stage 4, so she had to start really strong chemo straight away. So, and then I was a bit paranoid. I thought, geez, what if my teeth fall out? Because I can't really go to the dentist while I'm going through chemo. When this is all over, it's my next thing to do. I'm going to get my teeth fixed. So I couldn't even lie, you know, even to try and lie a little bit on your side, you know, when you lie on your back and you turn a little bit, I couldn't. It was aching. It was just excruciating. And that lasted for a good week, you know. It wasn't just in a couple of days over like it was before that. So that has been my experience on the more brutal chemo. And I wasn't sure if I should make this video, but then I thought, I wish I had known that, because I hate having to search for things, what's going on with your body when it comes to cancer, because there's such a lot of idiotic things on there. You know, people say the most stupidest things, and you don't know what you read is true unless you actually go onto like a registered cancer site that's got a forum on there, and then you know what you're reading is true, you know, and what, because of other women that are going through it and so forth. So that was experience. I'm not really looking forward to the next lot, but I've only got 3 to go, thank God. And then I have a 3-week break, and then I do a month of radiotherapy every single day. I've got to do that. And then I go on to hormone therapy for 10 years. The radiologist reckons I'll have to take it for. And that's to stop the production of my progestogen and estrogen, because that's what my cancer was produced from that. That stops it from reoccurring. So, because it's got to stop the production of that sort of thing. So that's another thing. And then hopefully I never, ever, ever have to go through this again. That I caught it early enough that it won't come back. I did say to the surgeon the chances in the other breast, and he just shook his head. So he didn't seem too concerned that it would come back in the other one because it was so localised, and I think I did the best thing of just getting rid of my breasts, not having to worry about that. But, of course, it's something in the back of your mind. So so that's it. That's what happened to me. It's really, it's just freaking shit, hey? Really, it's the worst thing that I went through. But I think the worst thing is the backache, because the backache was just excruciating, and followed closely by actually I think they're just both the same, the mouth ulcers. If you can't even swallow, talk even, I couldn't even talk. Aaron wasn't too sad about that. But it was just, and then I got being snappy. It's a real thing called chemo rage. You just lose your shit over stupid things because you're just going through so much, that you're just fed up, really. You're just fed up. So anyway, I'll leave it at that, and until the next video, this is Tracy.